very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen, for that extremely warm welcome. I've discovered that selling beer at low prices can make you very popular. I was very apolitical. I wasn't really concerned about politics, quite neutral on the issue of Europe, until we joined the exchange rate mechanism, which a lot of you will remember in here, where we were going to link our currency in about 1990 to the other currencies of Europe, and it was going to bring our interest rates down and bring inflation down. And what actually happened was that the opposite happened, and a lot of you in here today will remember it pushed interest rates right up. So my mortgage doubled, my bank, which was Barclays, got into trouble. It needed to be rescued, and with a massive rights issue. And there was huge unemployment, and eventually we didn't want to leave because the great and the good thought we should stay in it. We got thrown out and the whole system collapsed. So the logic of that was the predecessor of the euro. So a few years later, for the first time, someone said, we're now going to join the successor of the exchange rate mechanism. So you didn't need to be Albert Einstein to work out that this was a bad idea. And we had tremendous arguments then, and it was the same thing. It was the CBI said, you've got to join the euro. The Financial Times, the great and the good, Tony Blair, Peter Mandelson, Ken Clarke, same guys today. And they all said, if we don't join it, there will be severe economic problems. The car companies will move to the continent because they'll be exposed to exchange rate problems. In our latest magazine, I put the head of Oxford University, the Chancellor of Oxford University, wrote a big article after article in about 2000 saying how terrible it would be if we didn't join the euro. And since Kate's already said it, I can use it. It all turned out to be bollocks. But I'm going to apologize slightly to Jacob, because it didn't affect everyone who'd been to Oxford and Cambridge University in this way. He's one of a minority of maybe 5%, 10%. But what you have is the university-educated people of the land. Most of them, or many of them, have adopted the idea of European federalism, and it's almost a quasi-religion. So logic goes out the window. That's why they wanted to join the euro. There was no logic in a currency that isn't backed by a government. It doesn't work. Look at Greece, 15% unemployment in Spain. So the next toxic idea of the day, which is from the same quarter, from the CBI, FT, etc., is that we need a deal. Now, that's a toxic idea, isn't it? If I say I want to buy your house and I won't have any other, I'm not going to put the price down, am I? So if you say you need a deal at any price, which is effectively what the CBI has said, the FT has said, etc., it's a cliff edge with no deal, then you're stuffed in terms of trying to negotiate anything decent. The fact is that far from being a cliff edge, on the 29th of March next year, if we leave with no deal, we save 39 billion quid. That's a... Whenever I wake up in the morning, and you're probably the same, I always think being 39 billion quid better off is a good start to the day, isn't it? The other thing that we can do is that we can regain control of our fishing overnight. So that's very good for our coastal communities, but what's good for them is good to us, for us. And there isn't a snowball's chance in hell if Theresa May agrees to this deal that she's going to go back and have complete control over the fishing on the 29th of March. None. The other thing we can do is we can eliminate tariffs. They're really taxes on non-EU imports. Not necessarily straight away, perhaps on things we produce here. You can argue over that. But I haven't seen many people growing bananas in the UK or avocados or coffee or New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc or Aussie Merlot or children's clothes. 12,000 products are taxed. And do you know what happens to the money? It's collected by the UK government. Where does it go? It goes to Brussels. So you're in the unusual situation, if you're in government, of being able to get rid of these tariffs, not lose any income, and the public becomes a bit better off. Not only that, you give a signal to other countries in the world that you're a free trader, like Singapore, like New Zealand, like Australia, like Canada, which have slashed these tariffs, and they do extraordinarily well. There's this Aussie High Commissioner who likes the UK a lot. They're not all sledgers and iron ore miners. He likes the UK, and he said, free trade never made anyone poorer. He didn't say free trade's a cliff edge. The main other factor, of course, is that we regain democracy. Now, the EU has 5 unelected presidents. That is not democracy. It's got a court which isn't accountable to national parliaments, and I'm afraid to say a mock parliament, because the members of that parliament, the MEPs, can't even initiate legislation. That is not democracy. And democracy is economic steroids. Just look around the world, North Korea versus South. Look at how Japan became the second biggest economy in the world just a few decades after it became democratic. So it may seem chaotic, but democracy works. Folks, the scare stories are falling apart. Slowly, but they're backed by lurid articles in the FT, lurid comments from a lot of people. But they said the banks were all going to leave. Well, there are more people employed 3.5 months before Brexit Day than there were at the time of the referendum, so they haven't gone. Property prices in the city have gone up, so that doesn't indicate that people think they will go. One of the scare stories is that planes are not going to fly. I thought, well, let's assume the EU are stupid enough to say you can't land your planes in this country. I thought, we've got the planes, we've got the runway, we've got the money. Morocco's nice this time of year. The other scare story is that Kent will become a lorry park. Now, I don't believe that, and you don't believe it either. But at Wetherspoon, we decided to do a little experiment. So we said, OK, we're going to take French brandy, and we're going to take French champagne, and we'll take the German imported spirit, Jägermeister, #1 imported spirit in the UK today, and a number of other products. I'm going to swap them for UK products, UK sparkling wine. I'm a free trader, and so are you. I believe in free trade, but there comes a time, which I think has arrived now, where we have to show a bit of muscle. And our trade has gone up since we've introduced UK and even a few Aussie and Kiwi products. American brandy, it's really good. You should try it. the EU is only 7% of the world, so a lot of the arguments in favor of doing a deal are that we need frictionless trade. But if you believe in frictionless trade with 7% of the world, what about the other 93%? I'm just going to finish up. I'm going out of time here on my screen. I think we've got to be very wary of what I think is a legal filibuster. I've studied law myself. I qualified as a barrister, and I know when I can't understand a legal document. But the American Constitution 200 years ago, and boy has it, you can say not too fond of Trump or whatever, boy has North America been successful. Look at North America versus South, which didn't have democracy, the poor guys, you know, but the North's been so powerful and a great friend of ours. But 200 years ago, they decided they needed a constitution, and they took 9 months to make it, and they had a representative from each state there. And you know how long it is? 4 pages. And it's a very, very good constitution, and it works. And the withdrawal agreement from the EU alone is 580 pages. But this is a serious point, folks, here, because the law is now being used as a battering ram to drain away surreptitiously democracy from the country. It's been done under the guise of the rule of law, using lawyers, diplomats, etc., who are, in most cases, convinced about the need for rule by technocrats from Brussels, which we don't agree with. So it's very dangerous for us. So I think I was trying to think of delay, of course, is another real problem in this, which we've got to be extremely wary of. Paul Simon summed it up. Just get out the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Sam. No need to be coy, Roy. Set yourself free. Thank you very much. Thank you. Over here. Thank you very much.